I just wanted to start with the unbelievable pressure on Trevor. I think he got pressured 20 times on an unbelievable number of dropbacks and I think 7 sacks.
Yeah, just combination of whether it's one-on-one protection, some stunts. We knew that they were pretty good in some of their stunt game and twists and pressures. I think early on he made a protection adjustment where he got sacked and it kind of confused the running back a little bit and didn't pick up the blitz. I think it's probably a combination of probably some good players on their side and beating us maybe at some points. I got to watch the tape and then whether we're being able to progress or not, being able to get back to other throws. Maybe didn't feel like he had enough time in some ways. So got to move the pocket a little bit more. And, we tried to throw some screens and then their DNs are just reading out of all the screens. The only screens that were effective were the play action halfback screens. And when you're in a little bit of a drop back game, you're trying to throw screens to balance the rush. They played those well, so credit to them. They beat us up front.
Devin Lloyd on the sidelines, saw him a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
Was holding his helmet. Was that anything health related, decision coaching staff wise? And then what did you see from bench drop?
Yeah, so Devin had a little bit something get a little tight on him and played the first half. Came in the second half, it tightened up on him. Tried to loosen up. We tried to go in the second half and just couldn't go, just couldn't do it. So I honestly have no idea truly how Ventrell played or not, but we made that decision to ultimately kind of protect him that way.
Liam, a couple guys just said in the locker room, quote, "We killed ourselves today," quote. If you agree with that, how frustrating is that some of those pre-snap things keep popping up?
Yeah, it's on me. It's an undisciplined operation at the moment, and it's on me, and it's got to get fixed. It's a great opportunity this week to get it fixed, right? We're going on the road, we're flying to another country, being together as a group, look ourselves in the mirror and try to figure out from an operation and habit standpoint, what is standing in our way? Because right now it's us.
Do you have an initial thought on how you can get that message home to them?
We had a very honest conversation in there about it. That was the conversation we just had. I'm sure they were probably echoing that message. We've tried to go tempo to ultimately chill out with the motions, sure, to just line up and get them in a formation to just go play. We had a touchdown called back because of an alignment issue. We had 2 on the tackle after positive plays. So it's not even just the penalties, it's when they're happening as well is the Achilles heel at the moment.
Liam, lack of pressure on Darnold, and I know Trayvon's obviously not in there, so that played a role, but what can you do maybe to kind of...
Yeah, we got to heat him up maybe a little, just look at, all right, do we need to send a little bit more? Just didn't get enough pressure at all. I thought they did a nice job at times of being balanced, right? Like they were able to run it effectively enough. It was kind of a weird game. You look up at times and you're like, wait, how are we losing? Like from a first down standpoint, all that. And then I think they had like 53 yards rushing at one point in the second half or whatever it was. And so it just felt weird. They hit enough explosives and we didn't. That's the reality is we didn't get after their quarterback. They got after ours. They hit a couple big plays in the pass game and we did not. So I don't think either team probably ran it as well as we've been, running the football. We did come out with a mindset of us wanting to throw the ball, but we've got to get after their quarterback more as they got after ours.
Liam, how different is this loss compared to the Cincinnati loss in your mind, and how much of a step back do you think this team took after such an emotional win on Monday night?
I think any loss, you're dealing with some sort of quote-unquote adversity. I think the Cincinnati one was a game where you're leading the entire time and they just win at the end, and so you're taking. That was frustrating because you felt like you dominated the game. This was a different deal where we come out, we don't really do much offensively early on. We score and miss an extra point. So it was like those deflating moments. I think that's probably the theme of today was positive, then something negative would occur and kind of take the wind out of our sails. I thought it was a very honest locker room in there in terms of understanding guys that we will not beat good quality teams like this, whether you're home, on the road, in London, on the West Coast, doesn't matter, if we continue to hurt ourselves and have these self-inflicted wounds that ultimately is on me.
Couple more.
Concern level with your kicker?
No, I mean, look, I think the one on the extra point, I don't know exactly quite what happened on that. The field goal, we didn't help them. We took a sack on the prior play that knocked it back about 8 or 9 yards. Look, he knows he's got to make kicks, and he's as hard on himself as anybody. I still have a lot of trust and confidence in Cam. I think we just got to go make some of these kicks in real live games.
How much of this is a reality check of not getting the takeaways that you've been getting? And do you think at all that this team spent the week reveling in a big Monday night win?
No, I don't think that was the case. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. I think when you walked into our building after the Kansas City game, it wasn't like everybody was walking around like we were God's gift to ball. It was a pretty frustrating, actually, week in some ways, in terms of like you're so happy, obviously you won, but it was that process over the results that ultimately bit us in the butt today, right? Like that, not getting those turnovers in excess, and then have not with the lack of explosives on offense in a lot of ways, and giving up a few explosives on defense. With the amount of penalties we had, you're not going to win that game very often. And we had a chance to win, right? You're down by 1 score at halftime, you score, miss the kick, and just not going to win.
Wrap it up with the John. Sorry.
The two explosives, giving up by a defense, just what did you see on those? Did it feel like they just called the right things at the right time, miscommunication?
I got to give those guys credit on their side of the ball as well. I think, Kubiak's done a nice job being balanced and mixing it. They caught us in quarters and had a quarters beater. They had their fast guy run right down on a post and play action where your safeties are trying to fit the run, and caught us in outside leverage quarters. And then another one on the over, they caught us in 3 deep. So he definitely got us in a few priority calls and the priority looks. Got to go watch the tape and see if there was anything we could have done better from a one-on-one or fundamentally technique, leverage. But ultimately, they had some timely play calls.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks, guys.